Hello, everyone. So let's begin our session, Humanizing User Experiences. So I'll start with a short story here. So all of us know about the iconic glass Heinz tomato ketchup bottle, which used to be a staple in family kitchens around the world, right? As all of us have experienced, getting ketchup out of the bottle is quite a task, and it's one good way to give your biceps a workout, right? You need to turn the bottle upside down and tap vigorously on the other end using other hand so that you can get sauce out. And sometimes it will splatter on the burger, on the fries, on the plate, everywhere else where it's supposed to be at, right? Okay, so then Heinz actually thought about it. And then the direct consumers, which the largest consumers, kids, did not have access to it because they had to have their parents do that for them, right? So then they introduced the plastic squeezy bottle in the late 90s. But then, even after the introduction of the plastic squeezy bottle, the sales drastically reduced. So they wondered why, if it ever had to do with the product experience. So Heinz sent a team of user research people to ask customers as to what exactly happened. And you know what the customers actually told them? It was still troublesome for them to get the sauce out, and they would have to store the bottle upside down in the refrigerator to get the contents out. So that's when Heinz thought about it again, and the upside down bottle was born. So that's the biggest idea in ketchup, right? It turned this product experience into a better user experience. So, what is user experience? User experience is simply nothing but how a person feels when interacting with the system. If you take a look around you right now, you'll notice that everything has been designed. The stage, the stable, even your home has been designed, right? But of course, not all experiences are well designed, right? So I'm here to share with you 5 simple guidelines as to how you could improve user experiences on Creator. Okay? So the 5 things I'm going to show you today would be is defining your app navigations, and the second is form layout customization, and the third is providing visual assistance. The fourth would be report customization, and finally, setting up a record start. So defining app navigations. So defining the app navigation is like really very important. You know why? Because it sets the overall theme for your application, right? Because when a user uses the application, the first thing that they would notice is the theme of the application. So we have 3 different types of application themes that you could choose from in Creator. The first one is left navigation. The second choice that you get is top navigation. And the final choice is grid navigation. So you can change the application navigation type on Creator. If you can see my screen, I just go to the Edit Builder and choose Design. And you can see this paint bucket here. And then you choose Themes. You get a bunch of themes that you could choose from, and also the colors that you could pick. So over here, the left navigation, you can see that over here, I have a long name, but then I don't get to see the entire name at one glance. I hover my mouse over it, I get to see the whole name. So in this case, what you can do is you can have another variant of left navigation that you could choose. You could use this one. You could see already on the preview screen, you'll have a separate panel for your components. I get to see all the components under a section in a separate panel here. And the ones with longer names appear visibly at just one glance. So you could use this variant when you actually have a larger number of components and when you have long names, okay? The next type of navigation is top navigation. So top navigation has like a natural reading order, so it's like easier to navigate. And then the final navigation that we have is grid navigation. So grid navigation, you can use it when you have like a fewer number of components on your application. Form layout customization. So when building forms, you need to make sure that you have the related fields grouped together. Say, for example, on my form here, that I have contact details. I have name, phone number, and email. So all these are like related. It's related to the contact. So it's better to have them grouped together under a particular section. So here you can see that I have contact details as my section and all the fields grouped together, right? So, and sometimes you'll also want to have multiple layouts on your form. your form might need to have more than one column. So that's when you have a multi-column layout. So you can go up to 3 columns. So you need to open up the form builder and then go to sections. So when you drag and drop a section, you can get to put fields in like this. Just drag and drop and you'll have fields under a section. You can see that I already have contact details under a section. And I'm going to just create a multi-column layout here. Just drag and drop and I'll get a column. And then I drag and drop again, I get another column. So you can just go up to 3 columns, okay? So moving on is positioning your field labels. We have 4 different types that you can choose from: left aligned, top aligned, right aligned, and the last would be is inline. So depending on your requirement, you can choose either one of these types. You need to go to the design view, and on my right, you can see label placement. So you can choose the different types of label placements, either left aligned, right aligned, top aligned, or inline. So you can see that when I change the label placement, it changes it on the preview as well. So moving on is providing visual assistance. So when users fill out forms, you need to help them, right? When they fill out forms. So we have 5 things that you can actually do to help them. The first thing is using a help text or a tooltip. The second thing is customizing the field size. So you can see that I have an age field on the screen. So maximum, like the max digits would be like 3, not more than 3, right? So having a smaller field size would help the users understand what the expected input length would be, right? So moving on, we have the button text. Say, for example, I have a website and I'm running an event. So I'd obviously have an event registration form on my website. So at the end of the form, it's better if I have a button called register now rather than having a generic button called submit. It makes much better sense to the user so that the user knows when he actually hits the button register now, he would get enrolled to the event, right? So naming your buttons is really very important, okay? So moving on is success message. So now the user hit the button. You need to let the user know what exactly happened when he hit the button, else the user is going to be hitting the button again and again, right? So in the same case, when you have the event registration form, when he hits register now, you need to give him a feedback as to what actually happened. So here, I just have a success message that says you have successfully registered for the event. Sometimes just giving a success message will not just do. The same case where I have the event, I would want to redirect him to another page on my website that has the agenda. So just totally on your requirement. For example, if I have another form on my created application, I might want to redirect him to a form or a report or a page on my application. The choice is totally yours. You could either have a website redirection or maybe another page on your application. So I'd quickly show you how you can have all these configurations done on the form. Okay, so here you can see when I choose a particular field on my right, it automatically, you'll have a field properties open up for the particular field. So over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a help text for my name field. So under field properties, under description, you would see tooltip or a help text. So I'm going to choose help text and I'm going to give enter your name. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to give change the field size for number of tickets because he's not going to enter too many. Again, on my field properties, I go to field size. You can see that I have so many options. I could choose small, medium, large, or even give my custom size. I'm just going to give custom and then, 100 px would do. The next thing what we need to do is name our button. Help text would appear just below the field and tooltip would appear when you hover over the field. Next is form properties, where I need to change the button text. So you'd find buttons there. So I'm going to change this to register now. And then my success message. Okay, so I've given my success message as well. And then I'm just going to give, since I don't have a website now, I'm just going to redirect to another report on the application. So event registrations, and I even get to choose the window type here. So access the application now. And then you could see, can you see the help text that it appears below the field? And the same thing with tooltip is, You don't get to see it here. Like this gentleman asked me, what's the difference between help text and tooltip? As you can see, help text, you'll find the text just below the field, but as tooltip, you'll have the text appear when you hover over the field. Okay? So you can see the help text that I gave here appears, and then I'm just going to quickly fill this form out. And then you can also see that the number of tickets, the size is reduced. I just gave it to 100px, and you can see that it's reduced as well. And the button text is already changed to register now. So when I hit register now, you can see the success message, and it's already redirected to the report as well. Okay, so moving on, we're going to see report customization. So the first feature that I'm going to talk about is highlighting data. So when we have a large data set, looking for important information on the report would be difficult. So that's why you need to highlight data. And on Creator, you could use conditional formatting to highlight important data. So here, I have a service request report. So this is like a car service request report. And I have a list of customer names and what service type that they actually chose, and then the service amount and the delivery date. So this is like the estimated delivery date and what the current status is. So I just want to highlight the overdue dates on my report, but that I can't see all of it in just one glance, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up conditional formatting so that I could see the overdue delivery dates. So to set up conditional formatting, you just need to go to the design view for the report and then choose configure fields for web. And then you have the list of fields appear. Choose the field that you need to have the conditional formatting set for. Choose delivery date because that's the field that I'm going to have the conditional formatting set. You can see a small little paint bucket here. So that's conditional formatting. So you choose the field and you choose the paint bucket, and then I'm going to give custom. So I'm just going to give the text, let it be white. The background color is red. Okay, so I'm going to give my condition here. So it's going to be delivery date. It's before the current date. So we have like a system variable that, tells the current date of the system. So it obviously means that the delivery date is before today, and the delivery status is not delivered. And I'm just going to give a name for the formatting. So you can see that it's saved here already. Now when I go to the report, refresh, you could see that I have all the overdue delivery dates. So at one glance, I can see all the overdue delivery dates on my report. So the next feature that we're going to talk about is custom actions. So sometimes you want a set of actions to be executed repetitively, like at the ease of a button. You just don't want to go edit the form to have a set of actions performed. So what you could do is you can write your own custom workflow and configure them on the report. So it's easily accessible. So you can have them configured for like a single record, for multiple records, and even for a right click for a record, okay? I just need to go to the design view. And then on my right, you could see actions. So we can pick actions, and you'll have a list of choices that you can choose from. A clicker for record, for single record, like for right click, and even for multiple records. I already have one set here. I have a custom workflow, like send invoice, already set. So in case if you need to add a new one, you just click on the plus button here, and then you can add a new one using the add new item. So I'll show this on the report for you. So when I click multiple records, I'm not sure if you can see now. Can you see this? It says send invoice. So I've configured it for multiple records, and I can use this button action to execute a workflow. Even if I right click a record, the action set as well. So the same thing can be done for mobile devices as well. So we have 3 different layouts, either web, the mobile device, or your tablet. So when you switch to mobile device, you can see the list of actions that you could do. You can do it for a tap of a record, long press, left and right swipe as well. Next thing is freezing a column on the report. Sometimes when you have many columns on the report, you just want one column to be static. Say, for example, the same report that I have here, I have the service request report, right? Okay, so I have the customer information on my first column, but then I don't get to see the service amount that the user needs to pay here. I need to scroll all the way to the right so that I can see the service amount. So I don't get to see both the customer name and the service amount at the same view. So that's why you need to freeze a column on the report. And that's very simple to do on Creator. So just go back to the fields properties for the reports. Just click on the layout, and then you'll get to freeze columns. So you can choose up to 2. So I'm just going to choose 1 now. So if I choose 2, customer name and phone number will be fixed. So access the report. See, when I scroll, the customer name is fixed. The next feature is contextual message for reports. So all of you to access reports, you can see a generic message that appears. So let me quickly show you. So I have a new client form and I just access this report. You can see that I have a generic message here. It says you haven't added any records yet. So this would be the same message that you see on all the reports. Sometimes you would want to have this message customized, right? So we can have this done on Creator. So in order to do this, you need to go to the settings of the application, and then you'd find an option that says contextual messages, and then you hit customize, and then you get to choose the form, either all reports or custom report, and then you actually have to download the default messages and then upload the custom messages. So I already have a custom message set. Okay, so you can have, like you can see in this particular list, I have a variety of options. Like I can change the value for add a record, or you haven't added any records yet. We have a list of default messages. All you have to do is just add a value in the custom message column, and then upload the file here. So on this report, I've already have this set. So you can see that I've changed this message. You can see it says no appointments have been added yet. And the default add a new record is changed to add a new appointment. So in the same way, you can actually customize the messages on the report. So moving on is setting up a record style. So now since you've collected the data on your form, you need to represent or have this data visualized in a better way, representing your company. Say, for example, I have an order management system. I take the order. It's obvious that I need to send out an invoice. And that invoice has to be customized to my company. I'd probably need to have my own company's logo and all the customers' information that includes the order details as well, right? So for that, you need to set up a record template. So we have a set of predefined templates that you can choose from, or you could have your own build. The application settings again, and then over here you would find record templates. So choose record templates, and then I'll just show you can create a new one. You could either choose blank or from template. So from template, you would have a list of options. You could see invoice, certificates, notifications, or inventory. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a new one so you can see what the builder looks like. So over here, you need to choose the form. I'm just going to choose add customer to see the custom builder. So I can drag and drop images. I can change the size of the image as well. You have a variety of custom options that you can choose. Add a spacer, add a table, add a paragraph. The choice is yours. You can also add the fields on the form as well. So you have all the fields of this particular form you can choose from and just drag and drop, and you're good to go. And once you're done with all your formatting, you can go ahead and save.